What's up, guys? CN Ruffian here. Today I'm going to be reading a Polar Express book, and I have my CN hat on, so it's Christmas time, right? So let's go ahead and dive into the book. Alright, the Polar Express. Here we go. Written and illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg. Second here. Gotta get the page. Alright. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I laid quietly in my bed. I didn't I did not hear rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly, and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never heard here be. I think I'm gonna say before. The ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There's no Santa. My friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. That would be so cool, guys. That would be sick. Seeing a train outside my window. Yeah. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood out the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked up at my window. I put my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard! The conductor cried out. I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where? I asked. Why to the North Pole? Why to the North Pole? Of course. What was his answer? This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. Look at this steam train, guys. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with knot centers or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. All right, next page. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon. But the Polar Express never slowed down. Um, Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. And that's what that was, guys. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There said the conductor is there said the there said the conductor is the North Pole. Sometimes I pronounce my words a little different, guys. So yeah, I'm just say it. Sometimes I have a hard time, but it's okay, guys. The North Pole. What it was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. They were they are gathering at the center of the city. The conductor told us that is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the gift? The first gift we will ask. The conductor answered. He chose one of you. He will choose. He will choose one of you. Look! Shouted one of the children. The elves outside. We saw hundreds of elves as our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole. We slowed to a growl, growl, growl. So crowded were the streets were were the streets with Santa's helpers when the Polar Express could go no further. We stopped, and the conductor let us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced in pace, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved the part, and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and, pointing to me, said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee, and he asked, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?" I knew that could have any I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine. But the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked Santa, Santa smiled, then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood holding the bell high above him and called out the first gift of Christmas. A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeer's names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then appeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole I had lost the silver ball from Santa Claus's sleigh. Let's hurry outside and look for it, one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens next. It broke my heart to lose the bell when the train reached my house. I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. Why? I yelled. He cupped his hands around his mouth. Merry Christmas! He shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. At one time, most of my most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe. The end. I hope you guys really enjoyed the Polar Express book, guys. I really hope you all enjoy the Polar Express book. Um, I like the Polar Express. It's one of my favorite movies and book. I like trains, alright? So there's a train in here. So yeah, comment down below, leave a like. Make sure you get 300,000 views for this book, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.